Do we know how anesthesia works yet? Very interesting question. I presume he's going to say no. We don't understand how a lot of things work. Like dreams, we literally know nothing about. Consciousness as a whole, we know nothing about. And that is the thing. Anesthesia just sends us... Well, he's going to explain it. I'm not going to do the talking. He makes great videos. He hasn't uploaded in ages. 3 weeks ago, and he hadn't uploaded in a year. He just comes out with bangers. Just the most banger YouTube channel of all time. Yeah, Dreams Break Science. How does Bluetooth even exist? I remember trying to recreate this channel once, but he's just too smart and knows how shit
work on plants. They also happen to work on real human people. Put this special juice in your body and you will not feel anything. You will not remember anything. You will not experience anything. For a short time, you effectively stop existing. And the best part, nobody knows why. Kinda. There's a pretty big caveat. Your doctor doesn't just press a red button and watch you fade out of existence for a while. They're doing something back there, and it's all centered around one.
This is the thing, like anesthesia can be like dangerous because it can't be given to people with like certain health issues. I don't know whether it's like low or high blood pressure or stuff like this, because you can literally just die. Like if you take too much anesthesia, you do just die. And like there are cases where people just don't wake up. That's so scary, bro. I used to be like a really bad sleeper when I was younger, and like I would have nightmares all the time, but I'd always just get into this negative feedback loop of like going to bed and just thinking I'm gonna die in my sleep and I'm never gonna wake up again. And I'm probably gonna do it tonight now that I've thought about it, but hey ho, what can you do?
Bitten cocktail. So let's draw a picture of the culprit. What does anesthesia look like? Well, anesthesia isn't actually just one thing. It's more of a type of thing. And there are two big types: general anesthetics and local anesthetics.
Yeah, well, local's just you put it on the area and you, like dentists use it a lot and stuff. But yeah, general is just knocks you out, doesn't it?
In the blue corner, we have local anesthetics, which block nerve signals in your body. Don't like your arm? Boom, it's gone. You're welcome. You can thank these chemicals. But local anesthetics don't screw with your consciousness. They just block nerve signals in one area. In the red corner.
So we know how local anesthetics work, but we don't know how general anesthetic. Anything to do with the brain we don't understand because it's just mad complicated. And then every time you need to study it, it's kind of like inhumane and doesn't work. And yeah, kind of like, well, I'm not going to spoil Spider-Man, but there's kind of a whole bit about that in Spider-Man.
Corner, we have general anesthetics. The ones that will take you out back to where the conglomerate of all human knowledge isn't looking and fade you harder than you've ever been faded before. This fading is distributed in two main ways: through your veins or through your lungs. In either case,
in your lung, oh yeah, because you take it through that. I thought it was gonna like inject into your lungs. No, you take it through the gas.
The target is your brain. But what's in your brain? What are these little guys doing once they get up there? This is where that huge caveat comes in, because we actually do have a pretty good idea of what they're doing. I'm going to assume your brain has cells. And those cells...
You're going to assume my brain has cells. Do you not know that my brain has cells? What we said? What?
Probably talk to each other. And they do that using neurotransmitters like this. These neurotransmitters open gates on the cell, which can let either positive or negative ions in. If a cell has enough positive charge, it fires and releases its own neurotransmitters to the next cell. If we zoom out, that process looks something like this. I'll look at them go. They're having a great time. Oh, and look.
Yeah, that is crazy. Every single thought, every single movement, every single thing ever. There's something in my brain on a microscopic level that is just like, even to say these words right now, even to move my hands like I just did, open my eyes, think about what I'm thinking about. Shit is just firing in my brain. And I'm not even, I can't even see it. I can't feel it. I can't do anything. I'm just here. Every thought that I'm stringing, every thought that I'm thinking of in between saying something in between these videos now I'm manually breathing. And now I'm manually blinking. Why have I just done that to myself?
Look, a very inconspicuous neurotransmitter is coming along. Parry the neurotransmitter. See, this neurotransmitter is no neurotransmitter, but is actually an anesthetic that just so happens to look like a neurotransmitter. Specifically, a negative neurotransmitter. A big burly one. That's to say, they let in way more negative charge than normal. But the cell actually has a system to offset this. Special positive ion gates that aren't activated by a neurotransmitter. Instead, they are triggered when the cell gets too negative. So with enough negative ions,
and then it lets them back out.
Positive gates open and flood the cell with positive ions.
Why am I trying to input information into a video if I have no idea what's fucking going on? You absolute schmuck.
Causing the cell to fire. All this to say, anesthesia essentially spams the cell on and off. As you get pumped fuller and fuller, the period of offness becomes longer and longer. It never goes completely dark. That's what we call dying, but I mean, it gets close. But how do we know this makes...
That's the problem with that. Obviously, it's very rare that people do, but even just the idea of it is just... I knew someone that recently that couldn't get put under like general anesthetic because they were too weak, and there was way too high of a risk of them just not waking back up, because it just slows you down to the point of like dead.
Makes you unconscious. What if all this flickering just gives you amnesia to the point where you experience everything and then just kind of forget?
Is that what amnesia is? I've never known what the definition of amnesia is. I always just thought it was a cool name of a game that PewDiePie used to play and shout at barrels at. What is the definition of amnesia? Amnesia. Amnesia is a medical condition that causes a partial or total loss of memory. It can affect a person's ability to recall past... So, I mean, is it very similar to like Alzheimer's and dementia in the sense of you experience something and then you just forget what you just did? Interesting.
Or things get messy. So I'm going to have to ask you to take those horses and hold them. Because before we even try to answer this question, we must ask, what the flip does it even mean to be unconscious? When anesthesia was first introduced in the 1840s...
The operating theatre. This is an operating theatre. Because this is just bog standard knowledge that everyone knows. This is really boring joke. This is why no one watches your streams. That I don't do. That's a fake chat box there. That's just a LARP, as you should know by now if you watch these videos. Shout out to whoever is watching them. You're the goat. But yeah, operating theatres, people used to watch. Would you not get nervous? Like, do you not think the person who was doing, like, you probably get nervous as a surgeon anyway, like a little bit. Obviously, you'll get used to it, but like, bro, performing that in front of people, couldn't think of anything worse. That would be top 10 worst experiences of all time to get like thrown into. And so you have to perform, like, I think I could get thrown onto the World Cup final and I could pass the ball and make a tackle. But you put me in an operating theatre in front of like 200-300 guys, guy's insta dead, bro. He's dead on spawn point.
Any patient who failed to respond to a command would be deemed unconscious. You may have some quarrels with that definition, and indeed, those quarrels are quite justified, because that definition is stupid. For example, you have some level of conscious experience during sleep paralysis, but you usually don't have the ability to move.
No, sleep paralysis. Why are we bringing this up? We're just bringing up weird shit. The problem is, you're bringing up weird shit and annoying shit in this video that I'm going to forget about until I'm falling asleep, and then I start thinking about all the things. If I see something scary in the day, like I was doom scrolling Twitter last night after uploading a video, really bad for you, by the way, don't do that, especially Twitter. But I was doom scrolling and then like I saw something scary, but I scrolled past it and then I clocked that I saw something scary. There was something like in the background, like an old haunted zombie figure in front of this woman, and I clocked it after, and then I just went to bed that whole night. It was like, part of me really wants to watch the video to see the scary thing, but I hate scary stuff and I know it would have been way worse, but then I was thinking about it the whole time before bed and then I couldn't go to bed. It's like when I watched Obsession and all my mates went to sleep straight away after watching it, and I was up until about 5 in the morning because I couldn't sleep because my cortisol was too high. So yeah, that wasn't fun. Also, can we move off this screen? It's terrifying.
Move, respond, or defend yourself. Therefore, to be deemed unconscious, you must not only be unable to respond, but also unaware of anything at all. So back to the original question, which one does anesthesia do? Here, I must burst the bubble of simplicity and utter every YouTuber's favorite word. Ketamine.
Nice.
Ketamine is a unique anesthetic because we know that when you're on ketamine...
Yeah, because people just take ket like normally. So they just slow down and get to the point where... I've never done ket. Why would you do ket, bro?
I mean, you're still...
That's the thing. It's also like a starter thing. Like there's like 14, 15-year-olds that will go to like parties and just get ketted out, bro. Like they'll whip that kettle out and they'll just start fucking... I don't know why I'm whipping it like a Pyrex. You don't make ket in a Pyrex, but still, like ket is not a starter drug. It shouldn't be a star drug. You shouldn't take it anyway.
Conscious. It just kind of numbs you in pretty much every sense of the word. So, does that mean ketamine just paralyzes you? No. It's much freakier. Ketamine impairs your willingness to respond. That is, you're not unable to move, rather, you're not willing to move. You do not interfere with this person taking a knife to your skin, not because you are unable, but because you are simply uninterested. You feel nothing. You simply exist. and then you forget the whole thing. But ketamine...
This is making ketamine sound like kind of cool, but not. Is that... So you're unwilling, but you're not... So you just can't be arsed, basically. You basically take it and you just CBA. You're like, oh, I'm sat in bed, my room's messy, I should clean it, but I can't be arsed. That's what ketamine is. Okay, well, I can relate to that. I don't need to take it to figure it out. I've done that. I've looked at my room being messy a million times. I've got 6 like plates and bowls down here from all my food that I've had over the past couple of days. I can't be asked to take it down. I'm not going to. I'm not going to wash it up. Fuck it.
Is not normal. Propofol is much more common, and unlike ketamine, enough propofol really seems to make you totally unconscious. But just the right amounts of propofol will do something else, which might give us
Make you horny?
some clues about what the brain flickering actually does. At this level, I might give you a command, and you don't do it for the simple reason that you forgot. You just forgot what was asked right after it was asked.
Oh, sick.
Of course, after the experiment, patients would report that they were unconscious. But it gets much spookier. If you follow these 4 steps, something very spooky will occur. Step 1, lower dose. Step 2, acquire arm. Step 3, apply tourniquet. Step 4, insert the special juice. With this setup, any muscle relaxants don't reach their arms, so they're capable of some wiggling. And if you ask the patient some yes or no questions, you will receive some unusually comprehensible wiggling. Some patients were able to carry full-on conversations by responding with hand movements. But
Oh, that's weird. I've never been put under like any sort of anesthesia. I think my dad described that when he had like knee surgeries. Like, well, no, he had local anesthetic, so his was like more. He could see that what they were doing to his knee, but he couldn't feel it. But this is saying you inject it so your brain goes gone, but then your brain is still listening, but your hand can respond. So it's like my mouth and my brain couldn't respond to you, but like if you said do a thumbs up, my arm could do a thumbs up because it wouldn't let any of the anesthetic get to there, so it could say, weird.
afterwards, always denied being awake at any point. So even if the patient says they were unconscious the whole time, that doesn't necessarily mean they actually were. But how do we know this doesn't apply to a regular dose of propofol? Sleep. When you're under anesthesia, you are not asleep. But there are some noticeable similarities between brain activity during sleep and during anesthesia. It looks like sleep, but with a little less brain activity. Kind of like what we see during comas, but with a little more brain activity. Mini comas, if you will. And from that, you kind of just...
Oh, comas are a weird thing to think about as well. Did anyone see Lacey wake up from his coma that he was stuck in for 3 years? You know, GTA 6 came out, clicks 1 and F and CS.
Clicks 1 and F and CS.
Oh, the fuck he didn't.
That's quite a funny clip. Actually, dig move from Ron. I actually have no idea if Lacey was clip farming like that whole time, or if he was cooked, or what, but generational clip.
have to assume, yeah, they're probably unconscious. So we know...
Oh, but imagine being stuck in a coma and just waking up and you have no idea, like 10 years later. Wake up. Like, I could literally just fall into a coma right now. Do comas, like, when you're in a coma, I guess coma patients don't know that's the thing. There's no brain activity, but you're still alive. So it's kind of like, what are you thinking about? This is why I can't do drugs, bro. This is why I can't do shrooms or psychedelics, because I would just start booking. Oh, you got to take it, you got to figure out, you'll be closer to the earth, and more like, shut up. Way too freaked out to do that, bro. There's way too much going on in my brain to like, well, no, I don't think there's enough going on in my brain. So if I did take it, I would just start geeking.
Anesthesia most likely makes you unconscious, or at least something similar. And we know that when anesthesia gets in your brain, it spams your cells on and off. So why does that spamming make you unconscious? That is a great question, and one that I'm not going to answer because I don't know the answer. All in all, the ambiguity of how anesthesia works is less about anesthesia itself and more so to do with the fact that we don't know what the freak consciousness is, bro. You might leave this video a little confused, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm confused too. But it's always better to be confused with a buddy than it is to be confused alone. So you should click that subscribe button and we can be confused together.
Nice. Oh, he always does a frame thing right at the end. No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I just recorded like a whole reaction thing of me reacting. Okay, here's what it said. Dear Paul's gang, I haven't posted in a millennium. Unfortunately, I've been busy saving damsels and slaying dragons. However, to my knowledge, every damsel has been saved and dragon slayed, so I will return to regularly scheduled shenanigans. Sincerely, this. Yeah, I just did a whole bit about that, and then I went through the comments and I was like, but it's all just about how he hasn't uploaded in ages. Fuck's sake, why wasn't I recording just then? I hope he uploads more though, because 6 minutes long video, easy for me to fucking react to. Sick. I am more confused after watching that video though than I am before I went into it. I'm now more confused about anesthesia than I was when I went into it. But that's fine, that's all good. That's what you're supposed to be. Anyway, in a bizzle.